screaming turned deaf ear. Uncle, please stop! I am scared. Uncle, it's painful. Uncle, what are you doing? Uncle, I am dying. Please stop, Uncle. I am your child. I am scared, Uncle. Please, somebody help me. Uncle, please. Elizabeth was a devout Christian, known in her small village for her unwavering faith and compassion. She was the kind of woman who saw the good in everyone, even when others could not see. This was her strength and her weakness. Ojo, on the other hand, was the complete opposite. A heavy drinker and lazy. He spent his days at the local bar and nights wandering the streets. While others dismissed him as a lost cause, Elizabeth believed she saw a different side of him. She believed she could help him change. Her pastor, friends, and family warned her against the relationship. Elizabeth, this man is not your destiny helper, her pastor said one fateful evening during counseling. If you marry him, your life will be cut short and you will suffer greatly. Please pray and trust God for His will in your life. But Elizabeth was blinded by her feelings. She saw Ojo not for who he was, but for who she believed he could become. With love and prayer, I can change him. He's a man, he's a good man. I can change him, she often told herself. Against all advice, Elizabeth married Ojo, firmly believing that God would transform him through her devotions. The reality of life with Ojo was harsh. His drunkenness and irresponsibility made their home a place of chaos. Elizabeth struggled to make ends meet, taking odd jobs and selling goods in the market, just to keep food on the table. Yet, she remained steadfast in her faith, praying daily for her husband's salvation. When their first child, Helen, was born, Elizabeth's life became even more harder. Ojo's drinking habit worsened, and he spent what little money they had on alcohol. Elizabeth was left to care for Helen on her own, often going without food herself to ensure her daughter had enough. As time passed, Elizabeth became frail. The stress and physical toll of her circumstances weighed heavily on her, yet she clung to hope. When she became pregnant with their second child, Anna, her body could not handle the strain. Tragically, Elizabeth died during childbirth, leaving Helen and the newborn Anna motherless. Ojo, overwhelmed and unable to care for his daughters, turned to his family for help. His relative, already frustrated by his irresponsibility, decided to separate the sisters. Helen was sent to live with one of the Ojo's elder brothers, while the infant Anna was placed in the care of another uncle. The separation marked the beginning of a painful chapter for the sisters. Though young, Helen prayed every night for her baby sister, promising herself that they would one day reunite. After being taken to her father's eldest brother's home, Helen's life became a mix of privilege and hardship. Her uncle's family was better off financially, so she was given the opportunity to go to school. However, this privilege came with a price. Helen was treated like a servant. She woke up early each morning to clean the house, fetch water, and prepare meal for the whole family. Only after her house chores she was allowed to attend school. Her cousins, who lived comfortably, mocked her and reminded her constantly that she was there only because of her father's failure. My God. But Eileen found solace in her faith. She joined the local church choir, where she discovered a gift for singing. The choir became a second family, and her voice began to touch the hearts of everyone who listened. She would sing with tears in her eyes, a song carrying the pain of separation and the hope of reconciliation with her sister Hannah. Meanwhile, Anna was taken to her father's younger brother's household, where life was much harsher. Unlike Eileen, she wasn't allowed to attend school. Instead, she was treated as a servant from the moment she clocked 2 years of age. Her aunt saw her as a burden and took every opportunity to vent her frustrations on Hannah. Anna, still a toddler, was forced to work beyond her years. At 6 years old, she was already doing house chores like washing clothes, cleaning the house, and cooking meals. Anna's cousin, who was close in age, was pampered and spared from any work. The contrast was stark, and it became clear that Anna was not seen as part of the family. The little girl grew up feeling unloved and unwanted. Anna's uncle, who lost his job years later, spent his days at home. Over time, his behavior became increasingly inappropriate towards Hannah. Her uncle would occasionally hug Anna very tightly and affectionately, even when there was no apparent reason to do so. Anna was too young to fully understand what was happening, but she sensed danger. Her uncle's actions grew increasingly disturbing. Whenever her aunt left for her business and her cousin leaves for school, Anna will be left alone with her uncle because she wasn't attending school. Her uncle would watch her from distance. He would observe her small frame body as she cleaned the house. Her uncle's behavior created an atmosphere of fear and confusion. She couldn't help but wonder why he was behaving in that manner and what was on his mind. Despite her young age, Anna was very young, beautiful, and still smart. She knew her uncle was a danger to her, so she tried to stay away from him, avoiding his presence as much as possible. But something unexpected happened one sunny afternoon. Anna's uncle, Mr. Wale, came home drunk. He entered Anna's room and the unthinkable occurred. He became infatuated with her beauty and decided to allow his inner devil control him. Mr. Wale was extremely cruel to Hannah. Mr. Wale pinned Anna to the bed and had his way. Anna, crying and screaming, turned deaf ear. "Uncle, please stop! I am scared. Uncle, it's painful. Uncle, what are you doing? Uncle, I am dying. Please stop, Uncle. I am your child. I am scared, Uncle. Please, somebody help me. Uncle, please." "Don't worry. It's not painful. Just allow me massage you because you need it. Everyone needs this massage and you are now a big girl. I am only helping you," he said as he had her trapped beneath him, his actions becoming increasingly intense. Each thrust came with a sharp pain. 6 years old Anna could do was to cry and scream, but no one came to her rescue. Not understanding exactly what her uncle was doing, but the pain she felt was hell at a very tender age. Uncle only came down from her when he realized Anna couldn't move her body anymore. He quickly went to the bedroom, brought water and poured it on Anna. And that was when Anna got herself back. I am proud of you, Anna. You are now a big girl. We can play this game some other time. When Auntie is not around, okay? And I must not hear this from your mouth. Don't ever tell Auntie or anyone about our little secret, baby girl. I am proud of you. Any day I hear it that you told someone about our secret, I will kill you with my own bare hands, he said angrily, leaving Anna in the room broken. Anna cried and cried. Throughout the night she couldn't sleep. She couldn't get up from her bed as she was in so much pain. Helen, on the other hand, grew older and beautiful. She excelled in her studies despite the many responsibilities placed on her shoulder. She became a favorite in her church, where her faith and resilience inspired many. Her pastor often encouraged her, reminding her that God had a purpose for her life. Helen never stopped thinking about Anna. She prayed for her every day, asking God to protect her little sister wherever she was. The separation weighed heavily on her heart, but she believed that God would reunite them one day. Through hard work and determination, Helen earned a scholarship to continue her education. This opportunity allowed her to dream of a better future, one where she could support herself and find her sister. Anna grew more isolated with each passing year. Her uncle's mistreatment worsened, and her aunt became increasingly hostile. She was denied the chance to go to school, and her life became one of constant labor and suffering. But despite her agony, Anna held on to the fragment of faith, though unsure where that faith and hope was coming from. But she believed in a higher power and a caring God. Her faith stemmed from observing her neighbors, attending church every Sunday and weekly programs, and overhearing their prayers to God at night, where she often sat outside every night. This glimpse of hope helped Anna endure the unbearable pain. Anna would sit outside at night looking up at the stars and whispering prayers. Dear God, if you can hear me, please help me, she would say. The abuse from Anna's uncle became a cruel routine that she could neither escape nor fully understand. At only 10 years old, her innocence had been stolen, leaving her trapped in a life of fear and silence. Whenever her aunts and cousins were away, her uncle would find ways to isolate her. Sometimes, as Anna bathed, he would walk into the bedroom uninvited. She would try to cover herself with her tiny hands, trembling with fear. Don't bother, he would say coldly. Just keep quiet and finish your bath. If you tell anyone, you will regret it. Anna obeyed, swallowing her shame and humiliation. She feared him too much to resist. The bedroom became a place of terror rather than privacy, and each visit only deepened the scars in her young heart. Her uncle's behavior was always accompanied with threats, silencing Anna Before she could even think of speaking up, his words echoed in her mind. If anyone finds out, it will be the end of you. If anyone finds out, it will be the end of you, Hannah. Anna's breaking point came on a day that began like any other. Her aunt and cousins had left for the market as usual, leaving her alone with her uncle. As she cleaned the house, he approached her again, his shadow looming over her like a dark cloud. "Anna!" he said sharply. "Come here!" She froze, her tiny hand clutching the broom. Her leg was shaking. Her heart raced as she silently prayed for strength. "God, please. God, please help me. This time around, God, please help me," she whispered under her breath. Her uncle reached for her, but this time something inside her snapped. Instead of complying, she pulled away, tears streaming down her face. "No, uncle!" she cried out. "Please, I can't take this anymore." Her voice echoed through the empty house, a sound of desperation and defiance. Shocked by her resilience, her uncle paused for a moment, then advanced towards her again. But before he could touch her, a loud knock came at the door. The knock startled both of them. Our uncle cursed under his breath and told Anna to remain silent as he went to answer the door. Trembling with fear and adrenaline, Anna realized that this might be her only chance to escape. While her uncle was distracted, she bolted out the back door and ran as fast as her small legs could carry her. She didn't know where she was going, but she knew she had to get away from that house. Anna's feet led her to the only place she felt safe, the church she believed her neighbors attend. When she arrived, she collapsed at the doorstep, sobbing uncontrollably. Weekly service was ongoing. When the pastor saw her, he ran, opened the door and gasped at the sight of the broken child. He said, "Daughter, what happened to you?" he asked, pulling her into a warm embrace. For the first time, Anna let out all the pain she had been holding inside. Through her tears, she told the pastor everything: her uncle's abuse, the threats, and her unbearable fear. The pastor listened with tears in his own eyes, filled with shock and pity, his heart breaking for the little girl. "Hannah, you are so brave to tell these things," he said gently. "I promise you, no one will hurt you again." He immediately took action, contacting other elders of the church and local authorities. With the help of the church and community, Anna was removed from her uncle's house and placed in a safe shelter for children. Her uncle was reported and faced the consequences of his actions. Though Anna's journey of healing was just beginning, but with the support of the church community, she started to rebuild her shattered life. For the first time, she felt an overwhelming sense of peace. Anna met other girls who had endured their own struggles. For the first time in years, she felt she wasn't alone. The staff at the shelter, many of whom were women of faith, provided her with counseling and guidance. Anna began to heal, though it was a slow and painful process. As she healed, Anna attended church regularly. When she heard messages of forgiveness and restoration, one verse in particular resonated with her. In Psalm 147 verse 3, it says, "He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds." Through prayers and support, Anna began to let go of her anger and shame. She even found the courage to forgive those who had hurt her, including her uncle. not because they deserved it, but because she refused to let bitterness control her life. As Anna's life began to stabilize, Pastor and his wife, with the help of other church members, discovered Elaine's whereabouts. The reunion was arranged, and when the two sisters saw each other after nearly a decade, they tightly wept tears of joy. "I've prayed for you every day," Elaine said, holding her sister's face in her chest. "And have felt those prayers," Anna replied. "God had kept me alive because of them." Elaine, now a teacher and youth leader in her church, took Anna under her care. She helped her continue her education and encouraged her to share her testimony when she was ready. As Anna and Elaine reunited, they knew their story was far from over. They had faced unimaginable hardship, but through their faith, they had found healing, restoration, and redemption. Now they felt compelled to share their story with others, to inspire hope and faith in those who are struggling. Together, Anna and Elaine began to share their testimony with their community. They spoke at churches, schools, and community events, using their story to inspire others who were facing similar challenges. They also started a support group for survivors of abuse and trafficking, providing a safe space for people to share their stories and find healing. Through their ministry, Anna and Elaine touched countless souls. They reminded people that no matter what they had been through, they were not alone and that God was always with them. Mr. Wale, Anna's uncle, with multiple counts of abuse and exploitation. The court found him guilty and he was sentenced to life imprisonment. His wife was shocked and devastated by the revelations. She begged Anna for forgiveness, crying uncontrollably as she realized the horror her husband had inflicted on the young girl. Overcome with grief and shame, she left her husband and abandoned their home. May Anna and Elaine's story inspire you to hold on to faith, hope, and love, even in the darkest time of your life. In Jesus' name, amen. Now let's move on to the lessons to be learned from this story. Number 1. The consequences of ignoring divine warning. Elizabeth, Anna and Elaine's mother, was warned by her pastor, parents, and loved ones not to marry Ojo, yet she proceeded out of love. This led to a lifetime of suffering and ultimately an untimely death. The story teaches the importance of seeking and heeding divine guidance in life decisions, especially marriage. Number 2. Love alone is not enough in marriage. Elizabeth believed her love for Ojo would change him. Love alone couldn't transform his irresponsibility, drunkenness, and laziness. Listen, a successful marriage requires shared values, commitment, and responsibilities. 3. The impact of parental choices on children. Elizabeth's decision to marry Ojo not only affected her, but also had a devastating impact on her children. Elaine and Anna were separated, leading to different life struggles. This emphasizes the importance of making choices with the future of one's children in mind. 4. The harsh reality of child abuse. Anna's experience with her uncle shows the dark reality of child abuse, particularly within families. It highlights the need for vigilance, open communication with children, and a safe environment for their growth. 5. The silent pain of victims. Anna endured years of suffering in silence due to fear and threats. This teaches the importance of providing safe space for victims to speak up and seek help. 6. The power of faith in overcoming trauma. Despite her painful past, Anna found healing through faith. Her journey to forgiveness and inner peace highlights the transformative power of God's love in overcoming traumas. 7. The role of the church in healing and restoration. After escaping her abusive uncle, Mr. Wale, Anna found refuge in the church. Her pastor and the church community provided her with the support, encouragement, and spiritual guidance she needed to heal. This emphasizes the church's vital role in rescuing and restoring broken lives through love, prayer, and counseling. 8. Justice prevails. After years of suffering and silence, Anna finally spoke up about the abuse she endured. With the support of her sister Helen and the church, they took legal actions against her uncle. The evidence and testimonies led to the arrest, and he was sentenced to life imprisonment. His punishment served as a warning to others and showed that justice can be served when victims break their silence and seek help. 9. The power of testimony in changing life. Anna and Helen's reunion was not just about family, it became a mission. By sharing their testimonies, they were able to inspire hope and healing in others. Their story teaches the ability to help others out of their own problem, and also teaches that personal experiences, when shared, can bring light to those in darkness and encourage people to seek help. Lastly, number 10. Turning pain into purpose. Rather than allowing their past to define them, Anna and Helen used their past experiences to create change in their community at large and worldwide. They founded a ministry focused on helping youth and teenagers who had suffered abuse, abandonment, and trafficking. By speaking at churches, schools, and community events, they created awareness and gave survivors a voice. Their support group provided a safe space for healing, proving that pain, when surrendered to God, can be transformed into a powerful tool for restoration and advocacy. I hope this story had blessed you. If you enjoyed it, please encourage me by subscribing to my channel at Tales by God's Gracious Gift. Like this video and share with me your own thoughts on the comment box. Also share this video to your loved ones to also learn from. Don't be selfish. Your support helps spread more inspiring stories. Don't forget, subscribe to my channel. It doesn't bite. Thank you for watching, and God bless you.